In this video, we'll learn how to create a company in Tally Prime. So let's go with Tally Prime software. So this is a screen you get when you open a Tally Prime. This is called as Select Company screen. So in this, the very first option you can see a Create Company option. You can enter on it so that it will take you to a company creation field so that you can enter a company basic details to create a company. So the first option you can see a company data path. So we should not create any company in the C drive. The reason is when you create a company in C drive and if your system has got corrupted, then there is a chances of losing your data. So we'll not create any company in C drive. So instead of that, what we can do is I'll just create a new folder on a different drive and we'll give a path. So for giving a path, we can go with two different methods. So I'll show both the methods. Whichever is easier for you, you can follow the same. So first I'll go to a drive to create a new folder. So I went to F drive and I'll create a new folder in the name of Tally Prime Data, and I'll open a data folder. So you can see this is called as address bar. I'll just click at the end of that name, a Tally Prime Data name, so that it will copy the path f:/Tally Prime. I'll just copy it. To copy the shortcut key is Control C. I'll come back to Tally Prime software. So I go with specify path and I can paste the path what I've copied. So to paste a path in Tally Prime, you can use a shortcut key called Control V, and you can also use a shortcut key called Control Alt V to paste a path. And once you enter it, the path has got changed. So this is the first method. So the second method is you can go to select from drive. So it will give you all the drives here. So I go with F drive because I created a folder in F drive. It shows all the folders which is lying in F drive. I've given a name called Tally Prime Data. The folder is available here, Tally Prime Data. I'll enter on it. The path will display like this, f:/Tally Prime Data. So once if you press enter, that will be confirmed and it will be shown in company data path. So next we get a company name. So what is this company name? It provides a name for a company that is being created. For example, I go with Creative Business Solutions. So this is my company name. I'll give a company name as Creative Business Solutions. So if I enter on it, the same name will come in a mailing name field also. Then what is the difference between these two? The company name will be displayed in the list of companies for our reference, and the mailing name is a name which will be printed in your reports and even in your invoices. And even the company name may be a short form of your company and the mailing name will be your trading name or a full name of a company. So what I'll do is I'll just give a short form here and I'll press enter. So I'll just give CBS as a short form, Creative Business Solution, in company name, and in the mailing name I'll give Creative Business Solutions. So this company name is for my reference. I can understand what is CBS, but the same name cannot be printed in my invoices. In my invoices I need to print a complete company name. So I go with complete company name over here as Creative Business Solutions so that it will print in my invoices. Next we have an option called address. So you can give a complete address over here. For example, I go with number 17, first cross, And if you want to take a address to a second line, you can press enter and you can continue giving a address. Nehru Nagar, Saraki Gate, Kanakapura Main Road, Bangalore 560078. So you can enter and you can go with multiple line items for a address. So next you will get a state. So by default the country has got selected here and I just want to select a state here. So why the country has been selected by default as India? For this you can check a previous video, a download and installation video. So you'll come with this option why it has taken by default as India. So I can go with Karnataka here, and if I press enter, cursor will not move to country, it will jump because Karnataka is in India and it directly goes to a pin code option. So if you want to change a country and then a state, or if you want to select a different country state in the state field, you can go ahead. For example, I go with Dhaka, which is in Bangladesh. If I go with Dhaka as a state, you can see in the right hand side it says the state is Dhaka and the country is Bangladesh. So your state and country both will get changed here. So if I go with Dhaka as a state, so automatically even the country will get changed here. For example, even if you go with India in a state field, it takes in a country field. So if you have done any mistakes also, Tally Prime will correct it while creating a company. Then you can go with the state, Karnataka and India. So next we go with the pin code 560078. Enter. So once you give a pin code, if you want to give a telephone number, mobile number, fax, email ID, website, all those things, you can go to a F12 option which is in right hand side shortcut key panel. You can go to F12 configuration field. You can enable an option called provide contact details to yes, and we'll accept it, so that we'll get some more options here to feed a phone number. So we go with a phone number here. So we'll enter a phone number and we enter a mobile number also here, and the fax number, email ID, and the website, so that all these details will be printed in your invoice. So if you enter a phone number, mobile number, fax, email ID and website, all these details will be printed in your invoice, so that the customer, whoever sees your invoice, will be getting a complete detail, so that it will be easy to contact you people later on. So next we go with a financial year beginning from. So in India the financial year begins from 1st April and ends on 31st March. So if you are doing accounts for 2021 financial year, then the financial year begins from should be 1st April 2020 and books begins from. What is this books begins from? This is the date provided which will be automatically displayed here. So whatever the date you provide in a financial year begins from, the same date will be provided in books begin from. Or if you are starting a new business from today, then you can enter today's date and you can accept the screen, so that Tally will accept all the transaction from today itself. You can't pass a transaction for previous days. Or you're already running a business, you're just changing a software, then you can go ahead with 1st April 2020 itself. For example, if I give 5th April 2020, Tally will not accept. Even if I press enter, Tally will not accept because Tally Prime I'm using in education version. You can see in the top on the right hand side it is showing Tally Prime EDU. EDU in the sense educational version. So as I discussed in the previous videos, so in educational versions you can pass a transaction on 1st, 2nd and on 31st date of a month. So Tally will not accept this 5th April 2020. Either you can go with 1st April 2020 or 2nd April 2020 or 31st May, because the 31st is not available in April. So I go with 31st May. Only this 3 days will be accepted. Apart from this 3 days, nothing will be accepted in educational version software. So in this case, we go with 1st April itself. And if you want to give a password protection, you can go to F12 and you can enable a Tally old password to encrypt a company data to yes, and even users access control to yes. So you have two types of passwords here. One is a Tally old password and the other one is control user access to a company data. So for this things will come later on. So if you enable this, it will be protected by password. So next we have one more option in F12 configuration. Provide additional base currency details. We'll enable even this option also so that we get a currency details here. So the first option what we can see is base currency symbol. So the base currency symbol we are getting a rupee symbol by default, and if I remove this, then again if I want to get a rupee symbol, the shortcut key to get a rupee symbol is Ctrl 4. Usually we use Shift 4 for a dollars. The same manner we go with Ctrl 4 for a rupee symbol. And the formal name will be INR and it will be printed in your invoices. And if you want to change this, you can change. Whatever the name you give here, that will be printed in invoice. If you are going with INR, then it will be printed as INR, or if you are going with Indian rupees or a rupees, it will print accordingly. And next we have an option called suffix symbol to amount. So if the option is no, first we write a rupee symbol, then 100. So if the option is yes, then we write 100 first, then a rupee symbol will be printed. So usually we write a rupee symbol first, then a value. So let it be no. So next we have add space between amount and symbol. So yes, we require a symbol, space, value. So we need a space between a rupee symbol and a value. So it should be yes. So next we have an option called show amount in millions. So let it be no, so that we go with the Indian standard format. So if it is yes, what happens? Only the bifurcation of a commas will vary. So if you want to write 10 lakh rupees in Indian format, what we use a commas for the first 3 digits followed by 2 digits. So this is what commonly we use in Indian format. So if I enable show amount in millions as yes, then the bifurcation of commas will be added after 3 digits. So we use our Indian standard format, so we'll disable this option to no. Next we go with number of decimal places for paisas. So if I want to write 100 rupees 25 paisa, so after decimal we are writing 2 digits, so we go with 2. and that two digits whatever you write after a decimal it is called as paisas, and number of decimal places to be printed in a word will be the two digits. So this is how you can create a company in Tally Prime, and we'll accept this screen. So once you accept the screen, your company will be created. So once you create a company, you'll get a F11 features. So you can enable the features whatever you want accordingly, or you can skip this. Later on also we can enable this option. So I'll just skip this. I'll just press escape and I'll come back to Gateway of Tally. So this is how you can create a company. Thank you.